Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I would like to welcome all of you for today's our book reading, Srila Prabhupada book Beyond Birth and Death, and we'll continue our reading where we stopped last time, and let's begin. From the Bhagavad Gita, we have accepted that there is a spiritual universe which is the kingdom of God. If somehow we are transported to the country where we are informed that we will no longer have to undergo birth, old age, disease, and death, will we not be happy? So Prabhupada is saying there is a place where is no birth, no death, no disease, no old age. We will be happy to go there. Correct, na? If we heard of such a place, surely we would try as hard as possible to go there. No one wants to grow old, no one wants to die. Indeed, a place free of such suffering would be our heart's desire. Why do we want this? Because we have the right, the prerogative to want it. We are eternal, blissful, and full of knowledge. But having been covered by the material entanglement, we have forgotten ourselves. Therefore, the Bhagavad Gita gives us the advantage of being able to revive our original status. So this Krishna consciousness movement is giving us opportunity to again regain our the original position, which is eternal, blissful, and full of knowledge by practicing this bhakti yoga. The Sankarites and the Buddhists claim that the world beyond is wide. So जो संक्राइट्स और बुद्धिस्ट होते हैं वो कहते हैं कि संसार के बाहर सब शून्य है. But the Bhagavad Gita does not disappoint us like this. The philosophy of wideness has simply created atheists. We are spiritual beings and we want enjoyment. But as soon as our future is wide, we will become inclined to enjoy this material life. In this way, the impressionalists discuss the philosophy of voidism while trying as much as possible to enjoy this material life. One may enjoy speculation in this way, but there is no spiritual benefit. सो कोई कितना ही अपना मनगढ़ंत तरीके से बात कर ले, उसको जो रियल बेनिफिट है वो पता नहीं चलेगा. और ब्रह्मलोक से पताल लोक तक ऐसे ही घूमता रहेगा. ब्रह्मभूता प्रसन्नात्मा न सोचति न कांक्षति समः सर्वेषु भूतेषु मद्भक्ति लभते पराम. One who is thus transcendently situated at once realizes the supreme Brahman. He never laments or desires to have anything. He is equally disposed to every living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me. Bhagavad Gita chapter 18, text 54. So Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says about how actually we can get the real happiness. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. He who has progressed in devotional life and who is relishing service to Krishna will automatically become detached from material enjoyment. The symptom of one's absorbed in bhakti is that he is fully satisfied with Krishna. So now we are ending our 4th chapter. Now we are proceeding to the 5th chapter of this book, and this is the last chapter of this book. So from the chapter 1 we have started reading. Now we have reached the chapter 5, which is last of this chapter, last of the book. Chapter 5, the chapter is entitled as Associating with Krishna. So we will be starting chapter 5 now. If one gets something superior, he naturally gives up all inferior things. We want enjoyment, but impersonalism and voidism have created such an atmosphere that we have become addicted to material enjoyment. There must be enjoyment in connection with Supreme Person, Pursah Sa Paraha, whom we can see face to face. In the spiritual sky, we are able to speak personally with God, play with Him, eat with Him, etc. All of this can be attained by bhakta, transcendental loving service. However, this service must be without adulteration. That is to say, we must love God without expecting material remuneration. Means without material desire, we should serve Supreme Lord, and the result will be one day we will be able to play with Krishna. We can eat with Krishna. We can see Krishna face to face. Loving God to become one with Him is also a form of adulteration. One of the major differences between the spiritual sky and the material sky is that in the spiritual sky, the head or the leader of spiritual planets has no rival. In all cases, the predominating personality in the spiritual planet is a plenary expansion of Sri Krishna. The Supreme Lord and his multifarious manifestation preside over all the Vaikuntha planets. On earth, for instance, there is rivalry for the position of president or prime minister, but in the spiritual sky, everyone acknowledges the supreme personality of Godhead to be supreme. So Prabhupada is pointing out in material world, everyone is fighting for the position. So in the but in spiritual world, there is no fighting like that. No fighting like that. In material world, everyone is fighting. In spiritual world, no one is fighting ki I want to become the supreme. But in this material world, everyone is fighting for that. Those who do not acknowledge him and attempt to rival him are placed into the material universe, which is just like a prison house. As in any city, there is a prison, and the prison forms a very insignificant part of the whole city. So, the material universe is a prison for conditioned soul. It forms an insignificant part of the spiritual sky, but it is not outside the spiritual sky, just as a portion is not outside of the city. So this material world is compared with the prison house, just like कि हमारे every country is having some kind of prison house. Similarly, material world में भी जो है prison house है. So and this prison is just a part of whole creation, not everything. But one should try to approach, one should try to go back home, spiritual sky. The inhabitants of Vaikuntha planet in the spiritual sky are all liberated souls. In Srimad Bhagavatam, we are informed that their bodily features are exactly like God's. On some of these planets, God is manifested with 2 arms, and on others, he has 4. The inhabitants of these planets, like the Supreme Lord, is also manifest 2 and 4 arms. And it is said that one cannot distinguish between them and the Supreme Person. In spiritual world, there are 4 kinds of liberation. So there are 5 kinds of liberation. In spiritual world, there are 5 kinds of liberation. तो ये जो मुक्ति 5 प्रकार के उसके बारे में अभी डिस्क्रिप्शंस प्रभुपाद जी दे रहे हैं. Sayujya Mukti is a form of liberation in which one merges into the impersonal existence of Supreme Lord called Brahman. So सायुज्य मुक्ति बोलते हैं कि भगवान का जो ब्रह्म है उस ब्रह्मन में मिल जाना, impersonal फॉर्म में कोई मिल जाता है. Another form of liberation is सारूप्य मुक्ति, by which one receives features exactly like gods. सारूप्य मुक्ति बोलते हैं जिसमें मुक्ति मिलने पर जीव जो है भगवान के जैसा स्वरूप उसको भी मिल जाता है, भगवान के जैसा रूप मिलता है, सारूप्य. अनादर इज सालोक्य मुक्ति, बाय विच वन कैन लिव इन द सेम प्लैनेट विद गॉड. शालोक्य मुक्ति में भगवान के जैसा प्लैनेट मिल जाता है, लोक, और वहां पर वह भगवान के साथ रहता है. बाय सृष्टि मुक्ति वन कैन हैव ऑपुलेंसेस सिमिलर टू द सुप्रीम लॉर्ड्स. सृष्टि मुक्ति में one gets the opulences similar to the Supreme Lord. Another type enables one to remain always with God as one of his associates just like Arjuna, who is always with friend as his friend, with Krishna as his friend. One can have any of these five forms of liberation, but the five of the Sayujya Mukti, merging with impersonal aspect, is not accepted by Vaishnava devotees. सायुज्य मुक्ति यानी कि ब्रह्म में विलीन हो जाना, तो ये वैष्णव इसको अप्रूव नहीं करते हैं, उनको यह कभी इच्छा नहीं होता है. A Vaishnava wishes to worship God as he is and retain his separate individuality to serve him, whereas the Mayavadi impersonal philosophers wishes to lose his individuality and merges into the existence of the Supreme. This merging is recommended neither by Sri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita nor by the disciplic succession of Vaishnava philosophers. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wrote on this subject in his Sikshastakam 4. तो मर्ज होने को वैष्णव कभी भी एक्सेप्ट नहीं करते हैं. चैतन्य महाप्रभु कहते हैं, न धनम न जनम न सुंदरिम कविताम वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनेश्वरे भवताद भक्तिरहैतुकी तवै. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor have I any desire to enjoy beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. What I want only is that I may have your causeless devotional service in my life, birth after birth. तो चैतन्य महाप्रभु desires for causeless devotional service, birth after birth. He is saying, we don't desire for any kind of beautiful woman or any kind of follower or any kind of wealth. Here Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu refers to birth after birth. When there is birth after birth, there is no liberation. In liberation, one either attains the spiritual planets or merges into the existence of the Supreme. In either case, there is no question of rebirth into the material world. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doesn't care whether he is liberated or not. His only concern is to be engaged in Krishna consciousness to serve the Supreme Lord. The devotee doesn't care whether he is, nor does he care whether he is born in the animal society, human society, demigod society, or whatever. He only prays to God that he not forget him and that he always be able to engage in his transcendental service. सो चैतन्य महाप्रभु इच्छा करते हैं कि हम जो है भगवान की भक्ति में हमेशा लगे रहे. हम यह वी डोंट केयर फॉर द रीबर्थ, बल्कि हम कहीं पर भी जन्म ले, हम भगवान की सेवा में रहना चाहते हैं. These are symptoms of pure devotion. Of course, a devotee, wherever he is, remains in a spiritual kingdom even while in this material body. But he does not demand anything from God for his own personal elevation or comforts. Although Sri Krishna indicates that he can be easily reached by one who is devoted to him, there is an element of risk involved for the yogis who practice other methods of yoga. लेकिन जो योगी होते हैं वो भक्ति तो नहीं करते हैं, दूसरा योगा प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं, ज्ञान योगा, ध्यान योगा. For them, he has given directions in Bhagavad Gita chapter 8 text 23 regarding the proper time to leave the gross body. तो कब शरीर छोड़ना है योगी के लिए, यह भगवत गीता में बताया गया है. क्या है? यत्र काले तो अनावृतम आवृत्तम चैव योगिना प्रयातयान्ति तम कालम वक्षामि भरतर्षभा. O best of the Bharatas, I shall now explain to you the different times at which passing away from this world one does or does not come back. तो कब शरीर छोड़ना है जिससे उसको सुप्रीम डेस्टिनेशन मिलेगा योगी को, यह भी भगवत गीता में बताया गया है. Here Krishna indicates that if one is able to leave his body at a particular time, he can become liberated, never to return to this material world. On the other hand, he indicates that if one dies at another time, he has to return. There is this element of chance, but there is no question of chance for a devotee always in Krishna consciousness, for he is guaranteed entrance into the abode of Krishna by dint of his devotion to the Lord. तो भक्ति करने में हमें कोई ऐसा नहीं रहता है कि उसकी गति अच्छा होगा या नहीं, श्योर है कि he will achieve the supreme destination. लेकिन अगर कोई योगिक पाथ फॉलो कर रहा है, ध्यान, अष्टांग योगा, ध्यान योगा, तो बहुत ज्यादा चांसेस है कि अगर थोड़ा सा भी गलती हुआ तो वह अपने सुप्रीम डेस्टिनेशन से भटक जाएगा. अग्निर्ज्योतिर अह शुक्ला षण्मासा उत्तरायणम तत्र प्रयात गच्छन्ति ब्रह्म ब्रह्मा विदो जना. Those who know the supreme Brahman pass away from this world during the influence of the fiery god. In the night, in the light, at an auspicious moment during the fortnight of the moon and the 6th month when the sun travels in the north. So जब उत्तरायण की ओर सूर्य जाता है, तब जाके वो शरीर छोड़ता है. तो ये पर्टिकुलर जो है दिया हुआ योगी के लिए कब उत्तरायण, दक्षिणायन और अमावस्या या पूर्णिमा कब छोड़ना है शरीर को. द सन spent 6 months on northern sides of the equator and 6 months on the southern side. In Srimad Bhagavatam we have information that as the planets are moving, so also the sun is moving. If one dies when the sun is situated in the northern hemisphere, he attains liberation. उत्तरायण. ध्रुमो रात्रिस्तथा कृष्ण सन्मासा दक्षिणायनम तत्र चंद्रमशं ज्योतिर्योगी प्राप्य निवर्तते शुक्ल कृष्णे गतिः एते जगतः शाश्वते मते एकाय याति अनावृत्तिम अन्याया वर्तते पुनः. तो कब उसको वापस आना पड़ेगा और कब वापस नहीं आना पड़ेगा. The mystics who passes away from this world during the smoke, the night, the moonless fortnight, or in the 6 months when the sun passes to the south, or who reaches the moon planet again comes back. According to Vedas, there are two ways of passing from this world, one in light and one in darkness. एक अंधेरे में और एक उजाले में. When one passes in light, he does not come back, but when one passes in darkness, he returns. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8, text 25 and 26. This is all by chance. We do not know when we are going to die, and we may die accidentally at any time. But for one who is a bhakti yogi, who is established in Krishna consciousness, there is no question of chance. He is always sure. तो भगवत गीता में फिर बताया गया है कि अगर कोई भक्ति कर रहा है तो उसके लिए ऐसा कोई चांस नहीं है कि ऐसा कोई टाइम नहीं है, कभी भी अगर वह शरीर छोड़ेगा तो उसको सुप्रीम डेस्टिनेशन प्राप्त हो सकता है. और क्या बोल रहे हैं भगवान, नैते स्त्री पार्थ जानम योगे मोह्यन्ति कश्चन तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु योग युक्तो भव अर्जुन. The devotees who knows these two paths, O Arjuna, are never bewildered. Therefore, he always fixed in devotion. भक्ति में करता है, भक्ति में लगा रहता है. भगवद गीता चैप्टर 8 टेक्स्ट 27. It has already been ascertained that at the time of death, if one can think of Krishna, he is immediately transferred to the abode of Krishna. Antakale cha mameva स्मरण मुक्ता कलेवरम या प्रयाति समद्भावम याति नास्ति अत्र संशया. अभ्यास योग युक्तेन चेतसा नान्यगामिना परमं पुरुषम दिव्यम याति पार्थानुचिन्तयम्. And whoever at the time of death quits his body remembering me alone at once attain my nature, of this there is no doubt. भगवान गारंटी दे रहे हैं, श्योरिटी दे रहे हैं. He who meditates on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his mind constantly engaged in remembering me, undeviated from the path, he, O Parth, Arjuna, is sure to reach me. Bhagavad Gita chapter 8 text 5 and Bhagavad Gita chapter 8 text 8. Such meditation on Krishna may seem very difficult, but it is not. If one practices Krishna consciousness by chanting the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, he will be quickly helped. तो इसमें कोई शंका का विषय नहीं है कि अगर कोई कृष्ण को स्मरण करते हुए शरीर छोड़ेगा तो वह भगवान के धाम को जाएगा. कृष्ण एंड हिज नेम आर नॉट डिफरेंट एंड कृष्ण एंड हिज ट्रांसेंडेंटल अबोर्ड आर आल्सो नॉट डिफरेंट. भगवान के नाम, रूप, गुण, लीला, धाम, इसमें कोई भी अंतर नहीं है. बाय साउंड वाइब्रेशन वी कैन हैव कृष्णा एसोसिएट विथ अस. इफ फॉर इंस्टेंट वी चैंट हरे कृष्णा ऑन द स्ट्रीट, we will see that Krishna is going with us. Just as when we look up and see the moon overhead, we pursue that it is there, it is also going with us. तो जैसे हम रास्ते में चलते हैं रात के समय में और ऊपर देखते हैं तो चंद्रमा भी हमारे सिर के ऊपर चलते रहता है, वैसे हम भगवान का नाम लेते हैं तो भगवान भी साथ में रहते हैं. If Krishna's inferior energy may appear to go with us, it is not possible for Krishna himself to be with us when we are chanting his names. We will keep us, he will keep us company, but we have to qualify to be in his company. If, however, we are always merged in the thought of Krishna, we should rest assured that Krishna is always with us. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu prays, Nam Nam Akari Bahuda Nij Sarva Saktis Tatrarpita Niyamitaha Smarnena Kalaha Etadrishi Tava Kripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdamamidrisham Iha Jane Nanuragaha. O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction upon the living beings, and therefore you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies, and there is no hard and fast rule for chanting these holy names. O my Lord, you have so kindly made approach to you by your holy names, but unfortunate as I am, I have no attraction for them. Sikshastakam, text 2. So we'll finish this chapter, very little remaining. Merely by chanting we can have all the advantage of personal association with Krishna. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is not only considered to be a realized soul, but an incarnation of Krishna himself, has pointed out that in this age of Kali, although men have no real facilities for self-realization, Krishna is so kind that he has given this Sabda, sound incarnation, to be utilized as a Yugdharma or way of realization of this age. No special qualification is necessary for this method. We need not even know Sanskrit. The vibration of Hare Krishna are so potent that anyone can immediately begin chanting them without any knowledge of Sanskrit whatsoever. वेदेषु यज्ञेषु तपेषु चैव दानेषु यत् पुण्यफलं प्रतिष्ठम् अत्येदि तत् सर्वम् इदं विदित्वा योगी परम स्थानम् उपैति चाद्यम्. A person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the result derived from studying the Vedas, performing austere sacrifice, giving charity, or performing philosophical and fruitive activities. At the end, he reaches the supreme abode. So here, Krishna is clarifying that if someone practices bhakti, it's sure that he will attain the supreme abode, not by any other process. Here, Krishna says that the purpose of all Vedic instruction is to achieve the ultimate goal of life. So, this is the last paragraph of this book. So, here, very attentively. Here, Krishna says that the purpose of all Vedic instruction is to achieve the ultimate goal of life, to go back to Godhead. All scriptures from all countries aim at this goal. This has also been the message of all religious reformers or acharyas. In the West, for example, Lord Jesus Christ spread this same message. Similarly, Lord Buddha and Muhammadan. No one advises us to make our permanent settlement here in this material world. Simon बुद्ध और मोहम्मद दोनों आए थे या जीसस क्राइस्ट, दे आल्सो सेज दैट कि ये मटेरियल वर्ल्ड में हमें नहीं रहना है, बल्कि हमें यहाँ से जाना है भगवान के धाम में. देयर मे बी स्मॉल डिफरेंसेस अकॉर्डिंग टू कंट्री, टाइम एंड सर्कमस्टांसेस. हालांकि समय काल परिस्थिति के अनुसार सबने अलग अलग शिक्षाएं लोगों को दिया है. and according to scriptural injunctions. But the main principle that we are not meant for this material world, but for the spiritual world is accepted by all genuine transcendentalists. All indication for the satisfaction of our soul's innermost desire point to those worlds of Krishna beyond birth and death. So Srila Prabhupada is pointing out that कि one has to go beyond birth and death. और वो क्या है? वो कृष्ण का बोर्ड है, भगवान कृष्ण का धाम है. और इस तरह से we completed our first small book reading beyond birth and death. प्रभुपाद जी ने इसमें शुरुआत से लेकर के लास्ट तक यह समझाने का प्रयास किया कि we are not this body but the spirit soul, and nothing will satisfy our soul's desire, the heart's desire. Only by Krishna bhakti, only by bhakti we will get the real satisfaction. So from tomorrow we will begin a new book, we will start a new book. So I would like to thank everyone, those who are hearing this reading session and joining with us. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you very much.